Here we go. We're going to start with our score of Orange County. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Did you know that small business clients who receive 3+ hours of mentoring report higher revenues and increased business growth? At SCORE Orange County, we're proud to contribute to this success. This past year, our webinars, workshops, and resources have helped launch over 200 businesses and create over 3,000 jobs. This short video will introduce.
I'm very sorry, but my internet is not working very well. So,
yeah, do you want to just go ahead? We'll get started with the presentation.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Let me unshare one moment.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. Our webinar is hosted by SCORE. They're such a phenomenal resource. For those of you who aren't taking advantage of their services, take the opportunity to book yourself a mentor session. SCORE is a national organization, and you can have a no-cost mentor session with a skilled professional in your industry, whether or not you're in restaurant, manufacturing, retail, you name it. And they're such a great resource. If you're not already taking advantage of their mentoring services, sign up today. They will be sending you a copy of my presentation slides as a follow-up to today's event with a link to be able to take advantage and sign up for those mentoring sessions. And they provide no-cost education, just like you're joining us for today's webinar on everything from marketing, business planning, especially if you're a business just getting started and need to develop your plan, financing. So take advantage of those great opportunities. Our webinar today, we're going to be talking about how to focus on your website and making it your strongest business asset. I'm Victoria Byrne. I'm the founder of Creative Marketing Services, and for over 18 years, our agency has provided a wide range of custom website design and development, digital marketing, helping our clients get found online and driving more business, whether or not that's through search, paid ads, email, social media, you've got it. And of course, quite a bit of branding and graphic design services as well. I'm not a mentor of SCORE, but I'm a volunteer for over 12 years where I teach a wide range of educational webinars for small businesses. Just like today's event, we're going to talk about websites, whether or not you're looking for help with email marketing, social media, online search, you name it. So check us out online for all of our upcoming webinars that we have with SCORE. And I'm also a certified constant contact solution provider. One of the things we're going to be really excited to share with you today is proven best practices and techniques to make your website a more effective sales tool, driving more business for yourself. We work with businesses of all sizes, from startups to a lot of small businesses to very large corporations. And so regardless of industry, if you're marketing to businesses or consumers, these are some key elements you want to have in your website today. So we've got a lot of information to get through. As I was mentioning earlier, if you have questions, specifically post them in the Q&A box, and we'll be addressing those as we go through the webinar. And then as we wrap up, we'll have a section at the end as well. And SCORE will be sending you a copy of my presentation slides you can download and refer back to, and also a recording of today's session. So let's talk about why you're here today. You're looking to get more business, and that starts with making your website a priority, because so much more business is happening today. And why it matters, because having a website alone is not enough. It should absolutely be driving results for you, not just having an online presence. Take a look at why it's so important, more so than ever before, to really invest in your website. 43% of businesses plan to invest in their website performance this year. We all know this, right? Since COVID, more business is being conducted online, which means there's more competition, but there's more opportunities for you to drive more sales, more leads through your website as well. In fact, e-commerce is projected to reach a predicted 1.3 trillion in US sales this year, all-time high, of course. Also, keep in mind for those of you that are local businesses, 96% of potential customers learn about a business online, and 50% of Google searches are for local businesses. So building that hub and that foundation. So when we're looking at your digital marketing, there's a lot of opportunities to get seen, to drive business, to drive leads, but ultimately you need to build that towards your website, which is the hub, the foundation of all your digital marketing, and making sure that it's truly designed for your target audience. Because if they don't find what they like, what they're interested, want to learn more, they're quickly going to leave, and chances are you're not getting them back. So first and foremost, it's always priority first on your content for your clients. One of the other things to keep in mind is speed is essential. People will not wait, 47% of people will not wait longer than 2 seconds for your website to load. So if your website is not loading very quickly, certainly reach out to your web hosting company, or if you're working with a developer as well. Sometimes making slight adjustments or upgrading your plan can make all the difference in the world. When we're taking a look at how your website fits into your overall marketing strategy, again, it's the hub and the foundation. So you're driving all of your traffic, all of your business leads, your initiatives for your marketing from search, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Search is more than just SEO. It's also, you probably heard the terms AEO, GEO. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. Of course, driving traffic from your social media channels. It's not just engaging with your audience on social, it's also driving them to your website. Of course, through your email marketing, your paid advertising. And the key is that you own and control your website, right? So sometimes we speak with businesses and they feel like, I'm just going to sell my products on social media. Well, if things happen or things change on that social media channel, you may no longer have full control, which is why it's so important as a business that you have the ownership and control of your website. And ultimately, that's where conversions happen. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about today about conversion. So a conversion is a visitor coming to your website and taking an action, such as making a purchase, filling out a contact form, subscribing to your blogs, signing up for that free consultation. Those would be all examples of your conversions. And it's really taking their interest and converting it into actions. When we're looking at your website, really take a hard look at defining the strategy for your website. What are you looking to accomplish when visitors come to your website? Especially one of the most important pages is your homepage, because that's typically where you're going to see the most amount of visitors, and really taking a look at what your goals are. Are you looking to get lead generation? Are you B2B and you're ultimately looking for more leads? Are you sales based in e-commerce, looking to drive sales? Sometimes businesses, they just want to have a strong presence online. They're not necessarily looking for that lead generation because they get a lot of referral business. But of course, these days, reputation matters. So it's important that they see they have a very professional and reputable business online. And taking a look at making sure that your goals are in alignment with how your website is designed, how it's positioned, and your messaging, because unclear goals are going to lead to poor performance across your website. So today I wanted to highlight across the board key components for an effective website. So for those of you that are just getting started, it's great. You can utilize these techniques as you're building your website. And for those of you that already have an established website, I encourage you to check back on this recording and the presentation slides so that you are actually going back and critiquing your website. Are there tweaks and adjustments you can make to help drive better performance? So let's start with the foundation of your website. Goes without saying, right? Everybody knows this, but too often we come across businesses where the content, the messaging is not really written for their audience. It's written from the business perspective. So take a hard look at really defining your target audience and making sure that it's user focused. For example, some businesses have two target markets. They're wholesale and they are selling to the trades, but they also are selling to individual consumers, right? Those are two different markets. And how does your website line up based on your priority as well? Secondly, of course, having a website is not enough. You're going to hear me say this a lot today. It's got to be found in search. So making sure that you have the fundamentals in place, your site is loading quickly, and it's secure and trustworthy as well. Great design. A generic looking website is not going to drive those great results for you. We really focus on driving, first and foremost, mobile first design, because so much traffic is happening on mobile these days, especially if you're marketing to consumers. And look at ways that you can bring your brand to life. It's not just about putting your logo on a website and maybe some of the colors. It's really about the messaging, the visuals. If you can incorporate videos that really emote that personality of your brand in your website, and also have the difference makers compared to your competition. I encourage businesses, when you're doing that self-critique and the evaluation of your website, think about if a visitor is a first time, has never maybe heard of your company, doesn't really know exactly what you do. Think about maybe structuring it in a way that's going to be very clear and concise. Who you are, what you do, how can you help them? What's the benefit of working with you, of course, in a very exciting way. And then also taking a strong look and making sure you have a strong call to action to really motivate your visitors to take that action. So whether or not it's buy today, to register, and test and try different calls to actions, and really see what's driving the best for you. Across the board, where we see best performance for businesses and driving more revenue and sales and leads from their website, is those that are invested in their website. They're looking at their goals, they're looking at their analytics, and be willing to test and try new things. Relevant content, of course, this goes back to your target audience. Really look at the value add, bullet points of the features, the benefits of your content, of your messaging as well. And of course, you can't be flying blind. So I encourage you to really make sure that you have the proper tools in place to be tracking your results, but also understand the data such as Google Analytics, and then be willing to make changes based on what you're seeing. And we're going to talk about Google Analytics here in a little bit as well. Yes, to answer some questions coming through, we are going to be sharing copies of the presentation recording and the slides with you as well as a follow-up. So this is what I was just talking about a minute ago. First impressions happen in a blink of an eye. It's incredibly fast when visitors are coming to your website. Are they in the right place? Can they trust your business? What should they do next? It's all about that first impression, because if you don't hook them right away, you don't have much time, and unfortunately they're going to leave. So really take a hard look at how you are positioning your company through your messaging, your visuals on your website. Does it look professional? Can they instantly see some trust factors? And we'll talk about this as well. Is it easy to navigate? What should they do next? Really take a hard critique of your website. Sometimes just some simple changes can make all the difference in the world. When I talk about the importance of what's working for you in terms of your website, again, you really want to invest in a strategy for your website that's been optimized. So what does that mean? First and foremost, it attracts relevant visitors. We're not just interested in getting more traffic to our websites. We're interested in getting the right type of visitors to our website that are looking to take action. Number two, build immediate credibility. We're going to go through some trust factors and other key components of a website that can really help establish that professionalism and build trust from the initial visibility as well. Great tools and methods to help convert more of those visitors to customers and leads, and also making sure that you have the opportunity to nurture these new leads, because not everybody's going to make that purchase the first visit or sign up for that offer that you have, because many times it takes a couple of impressions before they're going to come back. Or, as all of us do, we're going to do our research. We're going to be checking out competition and come back. But there are some really effective, easy to set up ways you can automatically nurture these leads and get better conversions that we'll cover today as well. And bottom line, of course, supporting all of your sales and marketing efforts. The key is this is not just something you're coming up with. It's measurable, because you're going to have the right tracking in place, and we'll be covering that today as well. So when we're looking at your website, that great first impression, really important that you're aligning your messaging, your visuals, and your brand. So here's a great example of Peace for Paws. Number one, they have consistently messaging across their website. They're really bringing their brand to life through visuals and design, and the tone and the voice. So for example, they offer compassionate in-home pet euthanasia services. They've got the visuals that tie in with that, kind of pull at the emotion of visitors coming to the site, leveraging the authority of their veterinarians on team, highlighting, of course, their services that are not just in-home euthanasia. They provide cremation options, and they also offer pet portraits, but they have that great consistency of design, messaging, and credibility by leveraging their testimonials throughout their website. Another opportunity, of course, with your website is really to build that brand alignment that builds trust. Again, blink of an eye, right? Are people interested? And it's that first impression. 75% of users judge a business's credibility based on their website design. Some other key tips for you to consider incorporating on your website that are really best practices these days are animation. Ways that you can interact with your visitors while they're on the site, whether or not it's through chat, animation, really making it more interactive, you're going to see better results as well. In terms of bringing your brand to life, I wanted to show you some examples of that as well. So here's an example of a business that they were just starting out. They wanted to be nimble with their budget, so they built their website. And unfortunately, it was on a platform that didn't really have the proper tracking. It was very difficult to work in. So therefore, they didn't put a lot of information up on their website, and it was a little bit flat. So they invested in a brand new website that really reflected their brand, really brought their brand to life. So this is a great example of what I mean, where really look at the colors, the visuals, the imagery. They've got a video welcoming visitors now on their site. They've got photos to highlight their location and really bring such a unique point of differentiation to their branding and their website for their visitors as well. So think about what you can do to really update your website if it doesn't really reflect where you are today with your branding, and bring that brand to life. In terms of key pages, sometimes when I'm speaking to businesses, they say, what if I just have a landing page? Well, a landing page is really not enough if you're really looking to drive enough results. A landing page can be one of the pages on your website, but I wanted to highlight some absolute best pages you should have on your website as well. So first of all, of course, your home page. It's that most important page where you're going to be getting the most visits. You want to have a clear positioning statement. Who you are, what you do, how can you benefit from working with them, right? Having that great, strong impression with your visuals and your calls to action. One of the things that I see is a little bit of a misstep sometimes when looking at small business websites is either they don't have a strong call to action, or there's too many calls to actions throughout the website. We want to keep our audience very focused. So when they first come to the website, where do we want to help guide them to where they want to go as quickly as possible? But we're helping to guide them visually and through your calls to actions as well. In terms of your about page, a lot of times this is one of the top viewed pages, certainly typically in the top 10. People want to know more about you, your business, why they should be working with you, your credibility as well, and really what sets you apart. So making sure that you really tell your story well on your about page. Now, when it comes to your services and products, make sure that you have a separate page for each service and product. You can certainly have an overview, but it's very important, again, giving your users that great ability to find exactly what they're looking for quickly. And it also can help with your search, which I'll talk about here in a minute as well. But again, focus on the user. What are the benefits, not just the features of your products or services as well. Contact page. Don't just have a contact form on your website, but also have lead generation forms as well. Make it as easy as possible for people to contact you. Many times we see websites and there's no phone number. There's not even a form. There's just an email address. Make it as easy as possible. Put your phone number in the header. Give people the opportunity to fill a form and easy ways to connect with you. Now, of course, having reviews is so important these days. Having that social proof. So if you're a brand new business, this might take a little while to get up and running, and then you can start putting in your reviews. But you really want to layer in your reviews, your testimonials, And so many great options these days to connect, say, your Google business profile with your website so you can have those reviews automatically feeding in. And don't worry, you can adjust settings. So for example, I can say I only want to pull in the reviews that are a 4-star and above, for example, right? But carry that throughout your site. If you're e-commerce, of course, make sure that you are also enabling reviews on your website as well. That's a great way to establish some instant credibility. Now, in addition, take a look at having landing pages. So a landing page is basically going to be a page on your website that doesn't have the main navigation. And I'll show you an example of that here in a minute. But this is really designed to get conversions. So for example, if you're doing a special offer through an email campaign, if you're running Google Ads, it's really a best practice to have the dedicated landing page to really focus on getting those conversions because it's on the one call to action. Now, other pages that I highly recommend incorporating, having a blog, having a great resource to be adding new content to your website on a regular basis, getting a couple of blogs up at least every single month. And that's great content. Number one, if you've incorporated your proper keywords and gotten that on your site, that can help you with being found in search. But now it's great content that you can share across all of your channels and drive quality traffic back to your website through your emails, through your social media as well. Another opportunity is frequently asked questions. Again, it goes back to providing that great user experience and asking the types of questions, listing out the types of questions that your audience is looking for to remove any objections, right? So think about maybe your top 10 frequently asked questions as well. Lead generation forms. So as I mentioned just a minute ago, having a contact form, absolutely. But especially for those of you that have different services, have a different lead generation form for different services, or certainly one form for request a quote or schedule a consultation separately from your contact form, because that gives you the opportunity to inquire and get a little bit more specific information on how you can best help them. They already know that they're interested in that request a quote. Well, what are some of their pain points? How can you best help them? And get that information before you even pick up the phone and call them. And of course, you can incorporate any of your online forms these days with your email service provider or your CRM so you can capture that information as well. But think about what opportunities you have to motivate visitors to provide information. For example, if you're going to offer a free download or a free consultation or a discounted offer so you can get their email address, and that now you can nurture them and really help get some automation in place to drive more business as well. So we've got a couple of questions coming through here. Should reviews be a separate page or incorporated into other pages? Great question, both. I definitely recommend having a dedicated reviews or testimonials page, and then really take a look at the opportunities to highlight your reviews. Certainly on your homepage is a great opportunity, but think about incorporating those reviews, because depending on how people are coming into your website, now you're showcasing some of your best testimonials or reviews. So that can certainly help with conversions as well. Let's see, when I talk about better results, do you mean more buyers or more engagement? So ultimately, the better results is the bottom line, is driving more business for you. So we don't want to just focus on getting more visitors. We want quality visitors. But bottom line, when I'm talking about conversions, I'm talking about getting the sale, getting the lead where people are taking action on your site. Let's see, some other opportunities to consider. Depending on your business model, of course, think about having a case study or a whole section of your portfolio on your website to really leverage, again, the great results that you drive for businesses. Certainly portfolio would be if you're more of a visual services and really showcasing your work. And make sure that you do have a privacy policy on your website, because anytime you have a form on your website, such as a contact form or a lead generation form, you want to make sure that you have a privacy policy in place as well. In terms of positioning your website and your overall marketing, but really take a look at how are you highlighting the difference makers. Again, Why should your audience and visitors coming to your website be interested in taking that next step with you? So think about your positioning statement, who you are, the benefits, the value add. Here's a great example of what I mean by that. This is Interstate Materials Supply, and they offer rain gutter materials for contractors across the Western US. Right at the top of their homepage, they talk about they offer 10 times more fade resistance than the rest of the industry when it comes to rain gutters. As you can imagine, you don't want to be replacing your rain gutters every couple of years because of fading. So that is a great example of what I mean about highlighting your points of differentiation and the value of doing business with you. This is what we were just talking about, incorporating elements throughout your website that build trust, whether or not it's testimonials, reviews, case studies. Have you achieved and accomplished awards, certifications, any recognizable client logos that you can highlight? Again, really take that hard look about all of the great accolades that you have and how you can layer them into your website strategically to provide that stronger positioning and building that trust from the first time visit as well. See, we've got a few more questions coming in. Can you talk about the use of paragraphs or sentences versus bullet points? Great question. So one of the things to keep in mind is we're always writing, number one, first and foremost, for your audience. We're not writing for the search engine. It's not about just, stuffing a bunch of keywords, of course, but really take a look at headlines, subheadlines, short paragraphs, bullet points, especially when you're highlighting benefits. So it's a quick, easy read is a good combination. You want to avoid lengthy paragraphs, a lot of just tons of paragraphs, because visitors online, they're just going to scan over that. So think about headlines, bullet points, subheadlines, graphics and calls to actions as well. In terms of best practices for multiple target audiences, yeah, that can be a little bit challenging. So one of the things I recommend for businesses when you have more than one target audience, the one I shared a little bit earlier is if you're marketing to wholesalers and consumers at the same time. So one of the key things I recommend is, first and foremost, who is your priority? Making sure that that is the lead-in for your messaging, but also make it very clear from the homepage the different funnels that they can go to. So they don't have to search throughout the website or search through all the navigation, giving them clear, distinct either buttons or visuals that will let them get through within one click, depending on your target audience would be a way to look at that as well. All right, so let's take a look at, one more question that came in here. Do we need permission to add past clients? So great question. So when it comes to testimonials, I always recommend that you reach out to your clients and get permission of writing to use their testimonial in your marketing. Reviews obviously are automatically published. So on Yelp or Google Business Profile or Facebook, but if you are going to be adding client testimonials, I do recommend that you get permission from them first. I mentioned this earlier, highly recommend you consider adding a blog to your website. And again, it's that value added content. It's not salesy. It's not just promoting your services, but it's a great way to add that value added content that you can now share across all of your digital channels and drive more quality business to your website. And very importantly, this is also very applicable for those of you that are e-commerce, because it's a great way to leverage that experience with your products or services or industry. But also keep in mind that businesses that blog get 67% more leads per month. So here's the example of a landing page I was mentioning earlier. So if you are doing dedicated campaigns, such as Google Ads or maybe an email marketing campaign, where you have a flash sale or some special offer, in this particular case, register today for online construction courses. It is a dedicated page that exists within your website, but it doesn't have the main navigation bar because it's really built to get conversions. It's built for people that take action on the website page itself. So really can be a game changer in terms of driving more conversions for any of your campaigns because it's very focused. Also, highly recommend for any business, if you're not already utilizing email marketing, it's really a must for any business, whether or not you're getting started, if you're a larger company, if you're B2B, B2C, because it's giving you the opportunity to market to these individuals that are giving an incentive. So in this particular case, learn more about our classes. Absolutely. Maybe I'm not ready to register today, but I'll want to sign up to learn more and have an automated series of emails that automatically go out. It's very easy to do with your email service provider. And now you're automatically nurturing these new leads that are interested in learning more about your products or services and helping you get more conversions once you have that set up and it's working for you 24/7. So we talked about the importance of having separate lead generation forms. This is a great example. Don't just have a simple contact form. If you have multiple services that you're offering, have different forms for each service. So that way you can really get the information that best describes how you can help them. Don't make the form like 100 fields long because of course nobody's going to take the time to fill that out. But really take a look at getting that further intel before you pick up the phone and call this lead. Also, you can connect your forms, as I mentioned earlier, to your email service provider or your CRM. So you're capturing this information and having the ability to follow best practices, permission-based email marketing. Some other key components, of course, having a frequently asked questions. What are the pain points? What are some objections or commonly asked questions? Think about incorporating those easily into your website. Think about maybe the top 10 frequently asked questions and get them on your website so that visitors can see that information, get their questions answered, and really reduce that friction or objections. Now, of course, showing real-time activity is another great opportunity. For example, you can incorporate your Instagram feed. If you're very active on Instagram, think about incorporating that on your website, whether or not it's in the bottom of the homepage or you have a dedicated section. And it's a great way to keep your page fresh and current and up to date. So looking at ways, again, to keep your audience interested, because it's not just about always focus on that first-time visitor. Of course, that's the point. We want to always focus on building that lead funnel and building new business. But don't miss out the opportunity on focusing on driving repeat visits, because that's going to be the most cost-effective way to grow your business. So when you're looking at your website, really make sure that you have a two-pronged strategy. What are you doing to drive new business, right? You've got to nurture those leads typically, right? Versus what strategies do you have to drive repeat visits, such as a blog article, special offer, email marketing. Many times businesses are seeing their highest traffic day when they're sending out their monthly email or their promotional email. So again, really making sure that you're taking full advantage of both audiences as well. A couple of the opportunities in terms of driving better experience. First and foremost, we mentioned this before, making sure your website looks great on mobile and it's really designed mobile first. You've got your fast load times and very importantly, simple navigation. So you don't want to have more than 8 tabs at the most in your main navigation. Really take a look at streamlining that and helping to drive your traffic to where your visitors, where you want them to go, giving them one click, hopefully, to where they want to go. And again, if you're reducing your load time by just 1 second, it can absolutely help you increase your conversions as well. When it comes to your calls to action, make sure that your calls to action are above the fold. In other words, before I start scrolling, when I'm on your website, whether or not I'm on mobile or desktop, what is that call to action before I even start scrolling? By putting your call to action in the header, like this example is register today, now it's on the top of all of your devices, on mobile, on desktop. It's a color that stands out, that kind of draws your eye in. If you're not seeing that you're getting conversions through your calls to action, you've got to be willing to test and try new calls to actions as well. And again, as we talked about before, on your calls to actions, on those forms that might be connected to them, keep your forms simple. The more fields you have, the more fields you're requiring, the fewer signups you're going to have as well. Again, if you have questions, go ahead and post them in the Q&A box. Let's see, can you explain how blogs are not outdated and where benefits are today on how companies use them? Absolutely. So the key with a blog is that you are keeping your website up to date with the latest information for your audience. And you're focused on the value added content, information that's going to be valuable to your audience. When you have that content that's going up regularly, this is something that the search engines like, such as Google, can help you with your rankings when you've incorporated your keywords. Now you're going to maximize that opportunity of this great content that you've developed, put it out on your social media, your email campaigns, and drive quality traffic back to your website. So it is absolutely a technique that is continuing to drive great success for businesses as well. How many of you are incorporating video in your overall digital marketing? Video is fantastic in terms of driving more conversions. In fact, if you want to learn more about how to create videos for your business or your website, SCORE has a great lineup of webinars that will teach you how to use great tools to create those videos. But just know that one thing that can really help you stand out from your competition is welcoming your audience with a custom video that really highlights your unique benefits, right? It welcomes them, incorporates your calls to action. It can significantly increase your conversions in terms of if you're looking to get more business, incorporating a great video. And it also increases retention. So people are more likely to remember your business, your product, if they've seen this video, and they spend more time on your website as well. And so taking a look at that, one of the common questions I get asked is, how long should my video be on my website? Well, still 30 seconds, 45 seconds if you have to. But when it comes to sharing your videos on social, it's very quick. It's, with under 15 seconds, certainly under 30 seconds, by driving them to your website where they can watch the full video itself. In terms of other key metrics that matter, user experiences, is if you provide a good user experience on your website, they like what they see, you're giving them the value of the information that they're looking for, it can certainly help significantly increase your conversions. And mobile expectations are high. So again, I challenge you, pull up your website on mobile and really see, is it an easy experience, especially for those of you that are e-commerce. How easy or difficult is it to go through the checkout process? Are there adjustments that you can make to help improve that as well? Because keep in mind, 88% of website visitors won't return after a bad experience. And think of your own experience. When's the last time you went to a website that was not the best? And did you go back to it, right? So really focus on that as well. In terms of, as much as you can, think like your visitor. Try to take your business owner hat off and really think like your visitor, and really look at the experience visitors are engaging with your website, because as we know, every second counts. So look at the fast load time, intuitive interactions. Is it broken down so it's very easy to understand? Here's a great example of that. Sparkling Laundry Services, they do residential and commercial laundry, pick up and deliver. You don't have to do your laundry. They break it down into 3 easy steps, and their pricing is easily available. So one of the key things that you want to make sure you're invested in are tracking tools. So Google Analytics is a must. It's free. You want to make sure that you have the event tracking set up. You can also do a little bit more advanced tracking, such as heat maps, sessions recording, so you can actually see how people are engaging with your website. So one of the examples of a heat map is Crazy Egg. They do offer a free 30-day trial, and you can see how people are really interacting with your website, and you can get some video views as well to see how are people actually navigating through our website. See, we've got a few more questions coming through. If I tie my website to Instagram, do I make it for easier to take my business away? Well, the whole point is that you're bringing your brand to life, right? You're keeping your audience engaged. You're showing them the activities. You're encouraging them to also follow you on Instagram. And really, as long as you're keeping your Instagram, posts updated regularly, that's a really good technique, because of course, we want to build that long-term clientele, right? Just not that first impression. So they're not always necessarily going to, sign up with you right away, but follow you on your social media, sign up for your emails, right? So that way you're keeping top of mind with them. Let's see, in terms of comment on using tabs versus long page scrolling. Yeah, great question. So really take a hard look about how much content you're putting on each page. You know, you don't want to have a page that's going to scroll for miles, but also take a look at the user experience. So in some cases, having tabs can work. I don't really recommend over utilizing of tabs because then it's not instantly displayed. They have to click on it to reveal the answer, for example. So we're talking a lot about your content for your website. So of course we need to take the time to spend just a minute about content generators such as ChatGPT. There are so many out there. ChatGPT was really the original, but you know, there's so many that are out there these days. Just find the AI content generator that's your favorite. Use it to your advantage. There are so many opportunities. So for example, some of you are saying, I get the idea that I need to write a blog, but I don't really have the time to write the article. That's where these content generators come in so handy. So for example, with ChatGPT, I want to give it the prompt. List 3 blog posts for vehicle maintenance tips for summer. I want to get some ideas. We're giving it some prompts. As you know, I'm sure everybody's using it these days, but if you're not, make sure that you start using a content generator. Great opportunity. There's 3 answers, right? They instantly give. Now I can choose one and I can give it more specifics. Okay, I want this particular blog article to focus on this particular keyword that's going to help you with search. And I want that keyword to be incorporated 3 times. I want this to be a conversational tone. I want to give tips and value add. And then the content is a starting point. I don't ever recommend that you're just taking the content from any AI content generator. It's so important that you put your own spin on it. You really make sure it reflects the brand, your voice, and of course that you fact check it. So again, there are so many content generators that are out there. We could do a whole session just on that. If you haven't already started or if you want to try with any of them, they typically offer the free plan just like ChatGPT. But if you are going to be using it on an ongoing basis, I do recommend that you sign up for the paid accounts, which are very affordable. But again, the key is don't just take the content from any content generator. Put your own spin on it before you get it on your website or utilize it in any of your digital marketing. Now, some other proven techniques to absolutely help you drive more sales and turning those visitors into leads. Email marketing integration. Integrating email marketing, especially if you're e-commerce, make sure that your shop integrates with your email service provider. But again, following best practices, we're not buying leads. We're not buying lists and spamming people. Really focus on building that quality database. Give people the opportunity to sign up for your emails. What is that lead magnet you're going to give them? What's going to motivate them to sign up for your emails? Is it going to be a free consultation, a discount on the first service? The key is when you connected that to your email service provider, you build out some automated emails and now it's working for you 24/7. Having the dynamic pop-up forms like this example we're seeing here provides up to 180% higher conversion. So absolutely making sure that you're really taking first and foremost the opportunity to provide that incentive. And you can also do what's called an exit intent form. This is very common for e-commerce. You know, if somebody's going to abandon your cart and leave before they check out, but also it's very effective from a service-based perspective. So if you have a service-based business, somebody's on your website, they're navigating around, you want to take every opportunity to get them to convert. So have a pop-up form that says, wait before you leave, right? Drive them to that special offer or request that email address. The combination of the opt-in form and the exit intent form can have a measurable impact on driving more business for you as well. So here's a great example of that. One of the tools you can use to create these dynamic pop-up forms and exit intent forms is Opt-in Monster. It's a paid service. It's about $29 on a monthly basis, but it allows you to create those dynamic pop-up forms. Also, it has advanced tracking. So we're only sending this form to pop up to new visitors that have been on the site for maybe 10 seconds, or you can set the parameters. So here's a great example of Premium Termite and Pest Control. They're promoting the fact that they have a free home inspection. Would you like to learn more? fill out the information, and they're getting an automated email. They also have an exit intent form as well. So if somebody's going to leave the site, wait before you leave, schedule that home inspection. And of course, automated emails go out. So if you're not already using those techniques, I highly encourage you to do so because they absolutely drive better conversions. Now let's take a minute to look at other opportunities to engage your visitors in real time. Think about incorporating online chat. OLARC is just one of many resources that are available, because keep in mind that 82% of website visitors want an immediate response. So I'm not talking about AI bots. I'm talking about actually driving engagement in real time. So you have the ability to turn this on or off, but you can answer questions. You can get inside information, what pages or products they visited before you engage with them, and of course can provide great ongoing support as well. Key tools that are success for your business. You've got to integrate email marketing integration. We talked about today, very cost effective. Analytics, Google Analytics tracking. Think about chat or messaging tools or your CRM integrations. So the benefit with Google Analytics, it's absolutely free. You just need to get it installed on your site, and you need to make sure that you have the event tracking in place. So for example, I can see how many visitors have been to my website, how long are they spending on your site, what percentage of your traffic is brand new. In other words, are you driving that great quality of new traffic to your website, or are you missing out on opportunities to drive repeat visits? Right? So taking a look at your metrics, your engagement. Today, we're just going to be covering some of the top level of things to measure. So for example, with Google Analytics, it's very comprehensive. One of the key things you want to look at not only is just, of course, are you getting more visitors? Are they spending more time? But ultimately, where did they find your website from? So looking at your attribution. In this case, this particular company, their number one driver of traffic to the website is through their organic search. So people that are searching for them, which is fantastic because they're not paying for that traffic. Versus direct, a lot of times that tends to be email marketing, and you can see it where it falls off from there. So that's a starting point. Where you need to make sure you have it set up is that you're tracking the event. So in other words, I can see how much traffic is coming to my website. And ultimately, if we look at the far right column, we can see what is driving the sale. So for example, their social media is the number one driver of traffic, but it's not converting, it's not driving sales. But what is? Their organic search and their direct, which happens to be their email marketing. So that's where I would pivot and put more emphasis on what's actually driving return on investment. And that's why I really recommend you're looking at your analytics and really understanding the data at least, once a month. If you're e-commerce, you're going to be doing it more often. So you can really see what is driving those results, what's working, what's not, where you should proactively make changes to really maximize your performance. A couple more key elements before we get into search for a little bit. One of the other things to keep in mind, and we recommend for businesses, is getting software in place that helps you meet the ADA and WCAG compliance. So American with Disabilities Act and website accessibility guidelines. One of the resources, there's a lot that are out there that we can recommend. It's called Accessiby. It's a paid service, but it's not inexpensive. It's about $490 on an annual basis. What it does is it gives you an accessibility statement, and it uses AI techniques through screen readers to provide a better experience for your visitor. So in other words, if they're visually impaired, they can make a couple of adjustments, and it actually changes the look and feel of your website so it has a better experience. The reason why I bring this up in any of the webinars that I teach on websites is you just want to make sure that you have something in place for this, because unfortunately so many businesses have been sued for many years now because their website does not meet the legal requirements. So take a look at making sure you have that in place as well. So let's recap top reasons why websites fail. It looks good, but it doesn't convert. If you're not getting sales or business from it, it's time to take a deeper look. If it's not built with search in mind, if it's slow loading or outdated, or clearly the path and the journey and your goals are not in alignment. So some common mistakes to avoid. If your website isn't secure, you need to make sure that you have a secure website, which means having an SSL certificate. If your messaging isn't clear, or if it's generic, it's not going to resonate with your audience. Is your design outdated, or is it really reflective of who you are from a brand perspective today? Certainly, if you're missing out on a call to action, or if it's slow loading, if it's not mobile friendly, and if you don't have any tracking data in place, such as Google Analytics, you're kind of flying blind. It's hard to know what changes to make. So some quick wins that you can implement right away. Think about updating your homepage content. Think about your headline. Is it compelling enough for your audience? Are your strong calls to action throughout your website? Test different lead magnets to get people to motivate them to provide their email address and incorporate your email marketing so that you're nurturing these new leads automatically. Look at your contact accessibility, add testimonials or reviews, and of course, check your mobile experience. So in our remaining time, I just want to quickly highlight the importance of search and where it's changing. So I have all sorts of upcoming webinars with SCORE where we really talk about search and how it's evolving, because your website needs to be found. So keep in mind that with search, it's your Google findings. 75% of people don't go beyond page 1. So if you're looking to get found in Google, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a long-term strategy. And I want to do a really quick recap of kind of where search is happening today. It used to be known as SEO, search engine optimization. It's now evolved to search everywhere optimization. So it's SEO, GEO, and AEO, right? There's a lot to keep in mind. And it's really the reason why it's changed is because people have changed how they search. They're not just searching for Google anymore. So it's important for businesses to adjust and adapt to how people are searching. They're asking questions, not just typing in keywords. AI summary tools are providing instant results. There's more competition for visibility, and trust and authority matter more than ever. So a quick little summary overview. SEO is absolutely still the foundation of getting found in search. That hasn't changed. You need to invest in your keywords, your technical optimization, getting new content on your website on a regular basis. Now adapting to GEO, which is generative engine optimization, and that's where you can get found in AI overviews, ChatGPT. AEO is really answer engine optimization. So that's really having featured snippets, being found in voice search, and very important to know, businesses need to adapt to how people are searching in order to continue to be found. So with SEO, of course, you want to be visible in the searches with Google. You want to clearly communicate what you do, and it's structured so that you can be found. But again, it doesn't happen overnight. With your SEO, you want to make sure that you've identified your keywords and really focus on transactional keywords, and then get that content throughout your website through your titles and your meta descriptions, the content within your website, internal linking are some key tips as well. And then ongoing putting up new content on your website. So whether or not it's new products and you're optimizing them, blog articles, landing pages, case studies are all great opportunities. And then taking a look at other techniques to help you with AEO and GEO. And that's really building your trust, your authority online, and how you structure your content that you're sharing on your website, making sure that it's really conversational tone and that you're highlighting some key attributes for your audience. So it gets into a lot more detail than that, but I just wanted to highlight today just the summary. Again, join us at some of our webinars that are dedicated for it, but again, be putting content up on your site on a regular basis. So in terms of some quick wins, again, take a look at your homepage. That typically is where you're going to see most visitors. Is there some clarity? Is there some changes you can make there in terms of your visuals or your messaging? Is your site loading faster than 2 seconds? Getting testimonials and reviews on your site? And think about simplifying your forms and getting some lead generation initiatives in place, such as lead magnets as well. So in terms of our key takeaways for today, your website, again, should be the hub, the foundation. You have great opportunity to drive more business from your site. Taking a look and making sure it reflects your brand. It delivers focused design for your audience. It guides your visitors to take action and use that data. Take a hard look and understand what that data means through your Google Analytics so you can be proactively making changes. And that's where we see best results from business. It's really being the hub and foundation, and having that investment in your website can absolutely pay off. Because when everything is in alignment, you can absolutely make your website your strongest business asset. So in terms of our time today, we're going to go ahead and just turn to our remaining questions, and I invite you to connect with us at Creative Marketing Services. You can scan the QR code if you want to get our updated information where we're sharing our upcoming webinars with SCORE. 2 no-cost webinars that we have with SCORE. Actually, this Friday, if you want to learn more about email marketing, I'm going to be teaching on how email marketing drives results. And we get into a little bit more in depth in September about website essentials that turn visitors into customers. So I know we covered a lot of information today. Let's go ahead and turn to our remaining questions today. What is the service that offers the first month free versus user behavior tracking? Great. So that is a heat map. It's called Crazy Egg. You can do a Google search for that. They do offer a free 30-day trial. You get the code on your website and then you set it up so that now you have that tracking. If you're not going to keep it longer than 30 days, make sure you cancel it before that 30-day trial. But it can be a great way to get even further insight than just Google Analytics on your website. Do you find that people trust AI video content? Great question, right? So depending on what industry you're in, I feel that you really should take a hard look at whether or not you're doing AI content generated video. Are you an authority in your industry that really needs to help build trust? I recommend that you're on camera yourself as opposed to relying on AI. But AI video content can be very compelling and help drive results as well. It just kind of depends on a per business model. Can adding videos help if I have a high bounce rate? Certainly it can. So a bounce rate would indicate somebody came to your website and left within a few seconds, didn't really hang around. So if you have a really great quality video that really speaks to your audience, it can be a great way to help reduce your bounce rate and get them more interested, and think about little ways that you can help drive more business from that by leading them into other pages of your website as well. Let's see, how about a blog on all media and YouTube? Yeah, so one of the things that a lot of businesses are seeing success with is having what's called a vlog, right? In other words, you have a video and it's really giving all of this great information, but the key is to put it on your website and have the transcript, have the content also listed there. Get video up on all your social channels, YouTube, but actually have it on your website with it transcribed. The reason why you want to have the written in addition to the video is because it can help with search. If you just have the video, it's not going to help you as much with search as well. Let's see, in terms of the slide deck, yes, as I mentioned, SCORE will be sending you a recording of this, but also the slide deck, I should say. So download the slides, refer back to them, and I highly recommend taking a hard look and critique your website to see if there are opportunities. Are you following a lot of these best practices? Are there changes that you can make, and really test and see what's going to drive better performance for you as well. So again, the heat map is called Crazy Egg. C-R-A-Z-Y-E-G-G, Crazy Egg. What are the difference between a landing page and a home page? Great question. So your home page is really going to be an overview of your products, your services. You're going to have those value-added benefits, of course, of working with you. A landing page is going to be within your website, but it does not have the navigation bar because you're going to use it for direct marketing purposes. For example, if you're running a flash sale and you are sending your audience from an email campaign, send them directly to that landing page where they can get a better conversion. If you're running Google Ads, that would be the opportunity to do a dedicated landing page that's just focused on that particular service or offer, and it's designed to drive more conversions as well. Yeah, if you're interested in more of my workshops, you can visit our website or scan the QR code. All of our upcoming webinars with SCORE are listed there as well. Long or short form video, what converts? shorter form video when it comes to digital marketing. So when you are using video in terms of your social media, your email marketing, use it 15 seconds, 30 seconds at the most is where we see better conversions, or through your Google ads. But when it comes to your website, you can have your video be 30 seconds to 45 seconds because people are going to spend more time on a website as opposed to through social as well. In terms of how to put your video on YouTube, absolutely. So I know that SCORE has webinars on YouTube, but essentially as a business owner, you need to set up a YouTube channel, get a great cover photo, get all your key information up there, and then start uploading your videos up there, because you can do video shorts or traditional videos on YouTube, because YouTube is second to Google, right, in terms of search. So people actively search for products or services on YouTube. So make sure you get your videos up there as well. And I think we are out of time. We've got a little bit over, but thank you so much for joining us today. Again, look for your email from SCORE and take the opportunity to sign up for one of their no-cost mentoring sessions. And we look forward to seeing you at a future webinar. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. Have a great day. Send me the slides, please.
Thank you.
Thanks.